Whether you're hunted down by a pack of lions, or are stressed out about work, unpaid bills, or other day-to-day struggles, your body and mind will react the exact same way. It will always send out stress hormones throughout your body. It will and cannot differentiate between different stress sources. And here lies the problem for many of us who now have an anxiety disorder. Most, if not all of us, heard of the term fight or flight, but never really gave it a lot of thought. We had a rough idea what it was, but that's about it. And that is exactly why, after hitting us with its full force completely out of the blue, we are left shocked and cannot find any explanation for the physical and mental sensations that are happening to us. This complete lack of knowledge, unexpectedness, mixed together with the typical anxiety symptoms, is the perfect recipe for long-lasting anxiety disorders, especially health anxiety. You have to understand that everything happening to us in that very moment is a natural response, which is jump-started once a critical stress threshold is broken. This reaction is hardwired into us because back in the days, these high amounts of stress going through our system almost always meant that we were in some kind of immediate danger. So your body and mind will react to the stress with the physical and mental changes that prepare us for action. This can be a hard and fast beating heart, redirecting blood flow from the digestive system to the muscles, heightened sensitivity to light, and many more. Also cognitively, we are prepared to react. We are very aware of our surroundings. Our mind becomes very agitated and jumpy, so we can take in as much information as possible from our surroundings, process it all, and then as quickly as possible locate the threat and figure out the best solution and way to either fight or flee from it. And exactly here lies the problem. What back then meant we were in a real life-threatening situation, nowadays hardly is the case anymore. We are stressed from work, family issues, health problems, unresolved emotions, negativity in the media, traffic, tight schedules, lack of sleep, stimulants like coffee or nicotine. Basically everything around us can trigger our body to send out stress hormones. All this we can handle for a long time, but if these stressors keep accumulating without us finding some time to recharge our batteries, that's when we tip over from being simply stressed to having full-on panic symptoms. So our body's ancient emergency reaction is now working in full gear, preparing us to tackle or flee from a threat. But guess what? There is no real threat around us. All the sensations we feel seem to be completely out of place. The tight chest, the racing heart, the fast breathing, because of what? Because of some meeting I need to attend? No, that can't be it, right? And because the physical sensations are in no relation to what is happening around us, we are left in complete awe. And that is amplified a gazillion times because mentally you are searching for a real physical threat. You are hyper aware of everything, and as there seems to be nothing wrong around us, the focus shifts to ourselves and the symptoms we are experiencing. Suddenly the symptoms that were originally in place to protect us are now perceived as the real source of danger. This shift of focus takes place because the mind must have a logical explanation for why we feel the way we do. Just imagine yourself grocery shopping, and all of a sudden what seems to be out of nowhere, fight or flight mode kicks in. Your mind is racing, you become hyper aware, but there is absolutely nothing that could remotely make sense to why you are feeling this way. So in your mind you associate the racing heart, for example, as a sign of a heart attack. That heart attack now becomes the threat and will get your full attention. Guess what happens next? You focus in even more, trying to reassure yourself that everything is fine, but you will only feel the sensations even more. It confirms your worries, and with that, more stress is pumped out and more extreme symptoms will show up. Eventually the cycle will peak and your stress levels will lower again, and for some this can be the end of it all, and they return back to their normal levels of stress. But for most of us, who went through something so unexpected like this, we are left worried about what just happened to us. And these worries we carry around us for 24/7 and they never let us go or rest. We are basically carrying around an unlimited supply of stress, which eventually triggers the next panic attack, which makes us even more sure that something must be wrong with us. Every attack, slowly but surely, rips a larger hole into that bag of unlimited stress, and all of a sudden we are overflooded by panic day in and day out. At this point, a lot of us anxiety sufferers are pretty much convinced that we have a terminal illness and jump from doctor's appointment to doctor's appointment in the hopes to find a logical explanation for all of this. But because we are in fight or flight mode for the most of the day and mentally are in constant search for a threat, it doesn't matter how good or experienced the doctor is, we will always fall back to our old self-protecting thinking patterns. And that's not even all. Being stressed and in panic for such prolonged periods of time without any proper rest will have a huge toll on our mental and physical well-being. Most and for all, it's our muscles that now are extremely fatigued and tensed. It's this muscle tension that creates not only discomfort and restlessness, but is the reason for plenty of symptoms that can be very anxiety triggering. Especially because we are pretty much convinced of a certain illness and are constantly body scanning and on the lookout for symptoms that resemble that illness. We will notice even the tiniest sensation, and the reaction to it will be huge, because we have trained our brain to associate these sensations with a terminal illness. Exactly this is the reason why many people feel like they have symptoms even though they do not feel anxious at all. It's the muscle tension that can create many small or big sensations that are very triggering for someone as hypersensitive as we are. Knowing why you feel and behave this way is, I believe, the most important factor for successful anxiety recovery. Equipped with this knowledge, it's easier to catch yourself with your spiraling thoughts and pick yourself out of that situation. This won't be something that happens overnight, but if you keep reminding yourself that the sensations are normal, and most importantly, the feeling of doom is normal too, over time, you'll be able to calm yourself out of a panic quicker and quicker. Every time you have successfully done so, you will gain confidence in your abilities and lose some of the fear of these attacks, bit by bit. It is crucial that whenever you feel panic setting on, you do not try to force yourself to distract and ignore what is going on with you. It almost never works. Trying not to think about something only amplifies the initial thought. It's just like when I tell you for the next 30 seconds, think about anything else besides a cartoon elephant wearing yellow pajamas. It's almost impossible, right? I guess most of you had a picture like this one in your head. So instead, what you should be doing is accepting the sensations and acknowledge them. Let them pass naturally by reminding yourself that the fear you're feeling is part of your natural instinct. And trust me, I'm the last person who is going to say that this is an easy task, but there are things that you can do, and I'm going to say must do to make this whole process a lot easier. And when I say things, I mean everything that can release muscle tension. That could be warm showers, yoga, stretching, massages, and most importantly, exercise. Release that built up tension in your body, and I can promise you, not only will you face a lot less symptoms, but you can feel that heavy drain on your mental state slowly disappearing. Suddenly that curtain of fatigue and dread is being lifted, and everything appears a lot clearer to you. Your mind is stronger and has the energy to really proactively approach and tackle your anxiety. Suddenly accepting anxiety for what it is does not seem like something impossible anymore and seems to happen naturally. Also guys, try to be very aware of your body and its reaction to stress. No matter the intensity of stress, it will always show itself with muscle tension in a certain area of your body. Be aware of it and consciously release that tension. Doing this, you will stop what might become a chain reaction from stress to discomfort to more stress, and then eventually panic. I use this method even today whenever I feel just a little bit stressed out, and it is a great way I can make sure that I never reach that overwhelming point again. Guys, I hope you found this video helpful and it will bring you a lot further on your recovery journey. Thanks for watching everyone, and if you're new here and want to see more anxiety related content just like this one, consider subscribing.